Hey, welcome to another video. This will be a continuation of the chords thing I was talking about with the Joe Pass book. I'm going to break this into two different lessons because I think there's two different ways of expanding your chord knowledge. That just learning the basic chord itself just won't teach you. So these will be a little bit more talking, won't be as much fun. But I think everybody will have a lot more fun with it once they start working and they're playing and they got a bunch of new voicings but really this is chords that you've already learned. So in that last video, we took from the major chords, we came up with this, which was a C major 9. And it's a C major 9 because it's got a C in your root. E, which is your third, B, which is your seventh, major seventh, and then D, which is the ninth. So if we're just looking at that, the first thing that I do is I'm going to see when I can use this same shape to come up with another version of this C major chord. And typically how you'll do that is changing the root to other chord tones that are in that particular chord. So in this case, with a C chord, it'll be C, E, G, and B. So we know C works, obviously. If we move it up to an E, we then have the third, E, a G sharp, which is a sharp 5. We have a D sharp or an E flat, which could be a flat 3 or sharp 2, and then we have the sharp 11, which is F sharp. So that could be something pretty altered, or we can maybe come back to that later when we look at dominant chords. The other one would be with G in the root. So now we have the 5th, we have the 7th, B, we have the sharp 11, F sharp, and we also now have the 6th, A. So this is a chord that you can definitely use, you know, having a C as your root. And you got to remember, usually your bass player is going to be playing that C anyway. So if you want a chord that doesn't sound quite as resolved or more modern sounding, you now have a new voicing for a C major sharp 11 using the same chord voicing you've already learned here, just starting from the 5th of the bass. We kept going, we did a B. We now have the 7th in the root. We now have an E flat, which is E flat, and a C sharp, so not very good tones for a C major chord. So out of that, you know, we've at least got the 1. So then we could work that into our playing, maybe put it into a couple different 2-5-1s. You could possibly do something which doesn't sound super resolved, but if it's in the middle of a song or something, it might be kind of cool, or it might be a sound that you're going after, or maybe whoever you're comping for may be playing that sharp 11 in there. So it's a nice tone to have. And that outlines the Lydian scale. So another thing you can do with that is also looking how to fit it over other chord types. So let's say we have a minor chord type. So we're now in C minor. We can kind of do that same thing, again, trying to find the chord tones as our root notes. So in C, the next note would be E flat. So if we do it that way, we have E flat as our 3rd, G, which is our 5th, D, which is our 9th, and F, which is our 4th or the 11th. So over a minor chord, that will sound pretty pleasant. So that gives us an option. Let's try it from our 5th just for fun. So we have our G is our 5th, B would be our major 7th, F sharp, which would be like a flat 5 or a sharp 11, and then we have our 6 again. So maybe might be able to work, but probably not. And then let's look at let's look at B flat first. So now we have our flat 7, we have our 9, we have our 6, which is A, and then we have C. So we have another option that we can use over a minor chord. So just there, it kind of sounded like it resolved back to the 1 chord. But that would be a good option. So again, now we can use that same shape over 2 different ways for minor. One starting from our flat 7, the other way starting from the minor 3rd of the minor chord. And for fun, let's do the major 7th. So now we have the major 7th. We have the E flat, which would be our flat 3. We have the flat 7 in there, and then we have a flat 9. So maybe in some more modern sounding stuff, you might be able to get away with that, or maybe if it was outlining kind of the Phrygian mode or something, you might be able to get away with that chord, but maybe not the best option. And then if we keep going, we can look at dominant chords. So if we've got a dominant 7th chord, C dominant 7, we do the same thing. We can go through and look at different ways, and since dominant chords usually have more alterations, we can look at some other tones, but for right now we'll just stick with the chord tones and see what happens. So if we're doing that over C7, and we have our 3rd as our bass, we have the 3rd, the sharp 5, we have like the sharp 9, and then we have the sharp 11. So it's kind of an altered sound. So that could be something you're looking for. We do it with G in the bass. We have our 5th. We have a major 7, so it already probably tells us we shouldn't use it. Then we have the sharp 11, and then we have the 13th. And then if we did it off the flat 7, we have the flat 7, the 9, the 13, and the root. So this one actually works over a dominant 7th chord. So it could work in some sort of amp or something. And there's other chord types that you can look at and do the same thing. But I think this would be a nice way for a lot of guys to start expanding on their chords if they don't know a whole lot, or maybe just get some different sounds with some already learned shapes. So I hope that helps a lot of people, and I'll post the next lesson fairly soon. Thanks, see ya.